I started the earliest drafts of what became this book in 2004, and in 2006, I tossed out almost all of it and started again with a new beginning. So that was maybe one novel in the drawer, because I've often said that my 2 novels in a drawer are the beginnings of this one. I started over with a new beginning in 2006 that took me in a new direction, and in 2009, I had I don't even want to tell you how many pages I had, but I'll tell you right now, I hit the delete button one scary morning, and out went 600 pages, gone, okay? That's 2 novels, gone, I had written that many pages. I had some disconnected chapters left, I had some scenes that I really liked, but I had finally found my ending. I knew where the story had to end, and that became my light, my beacon, and I began to aim for it. It was actually the most frightening thing I'd ever done to hit that delete button at that point as a writer, because I thought, I did all this work. But I had too many characters in my book. They had to clear the way for the story that needed to be told. And that was one of the reasons I did it. I knew with that ending, I finally understood how best to tell the story I was trying to write. So some nice things began to happen in my personal life as well. In 2010, we made some adjustments, and I stopped taking consulting jobs. The plan was to do that for a while until I got this thing done. I still showed up on my desk every day, but instead of fielding calls from clients and banging out reports, I gave myself to casualties. This was exhilarating, but it was terrifying. I had no more excuses at all. And surprisingly, even after all this time, I still heard those negative voices hissing in the background, especially when people I knew were getting their books published. There's a fine line sometimes, and I'm going to say it, I don't know if we're all as small as this may sound, but we're very happy that it can happen when we see it happen for other people. But there's that despair that it says, well, when will it happen for me? There's always that moment of that. But you know what? I already figured out, and from this conference and from others, that there were other options available to me. If a publisher didn't want it, I'd find a way. And if that didn't work out, well, I was still writing. I was still doing the thing I wanted to do. And the more I did it, the more I wanted to do it. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about it. It was like finding where I was supposed to be my whole life. And so I wasn't going to give it up if it didn't work out quite the way I had hoped, even after all those years. I think that's the feeling, that feeling of coming and arriving at the place you were always meant to be, that helps you get through those really bad moments that do keep coming at you. The doubts do raise their little ugly heads. I have that written right here. Those doubts raise those ugly little heads. By the time I finally had a manuscript ready to send out, it was 2014, and I had this big I printed it out, and it was like, I think right around 300 pages of manuscript sitting in front of me. It had heft, it had reality, and I had written the end, and I had made it. And I thought, oh, I did it. I actually did it. And nobody can take that away, right? Nobody can take that moment away. So I took my notes at all these conferences, and I went out and I started to target agents. I targeted 100. There were a lot of these databases, and I put them in one. I knew how to do spreadsheets, so I did them. And I prioritized them. I said, there are tiers. I will send queries out in batches of 10 to 12. And I screwed up my courage to send to these people from this list, but also to agents that I had met through reading critique, I think advanced reading opportunities at this and other conferences. And I sent them first wave out. Not one taker, not even the ones I had met, struck up a conversation with, made some sort of inroads with, I thought. No, they were nice about it, but they said, this doesn't fit. The famous, there were like 1 or 2 lines that you'll hear a lot, I think, if you're in this business. It's, I liked it. It wasn't quite a fit for me. I didn't love it, Yeah. So they came. Sometimes it was just silence. And that was like, first I thought, oh, that's a good thing. They haven't said no yet. But then I learned no answer really usually means no, especially from an agent. They're busy and they get a lot. And they hurt. All these no's hurt. But I did still have the writing. I'd actually started my next project. And I still had my community, and I can't underscore how valuable that has been to me. On really bad days, one of my first writing friends that I made here in San Diego, we have a little pact. We're having a day, okay, it's time for South Beach and OB. We have our tacos and our margaritas, and we give each other the talk. We both started late in life. And when it gets hard, we kind of have a standard question that serves us well. And I think it serves any of us well, regardless of where we are in our journeys. How does it feel when you think about stopping? If stopping feels worse than keeping on, well, really, you only have one choice. You've got to keep on. And then when we complain that it's late, that all these other writers are coming up and younger writers are going to do better and all of these sorts of very pessimistic, silly things, which all of you here have already figured out isn't the case, we tell each other this: we have all the time there is. And if there's nothing else you'd rather be doing, then use that time to do it.